everybody, and welcome to episode number 9 of the Round Rabbit podcast, I think. I just looked at my notes. Gotta look again. Yes, 9. Today is November 4th. It is Friday, 2016. And I hope y'all had a really good week. I have a bit of a cold. You might be able to hear that. I don't really know. Hopefully I won't be coughing or sniffling too much throughout this, but I came down with quite a cold I guess it was Sunday. Yeah. So it's all my fault. It was probably to do with Halloween. It was an unseasonably warm Halloween here. It was a really warm night, or so I thought. And we went to a party, and I kind of ran around through a wet vineyard in a bridesmaid's dress, my bunny mask on, and woke up really sick the next day. So, whatever. It was worth it. It was really a lot of fun. My mask came out really good, extra glittery. I should show you, but it's all the way on the other side of the room. I don't want to get up, so I won't. Let's see, what am I drinking? So in honor of my cold, I've been kind of sipping on blackberry brandy all week. That's my medicine. That's what I do when I have a cold and a sore throat and all of that. But today I chose a wine, and I think I chose really, really well. It's a late harvest Chardonnay from Hector Wine Company. Here's the bottle. I don't know how well you can, it's kind of a foily label. So anyway, if you're at all familiar with late harvest wines, they tend to be, well, they are very sweet. They are picked much later in the season. In fact, I was texting Jason Hazlitt this morning, one of the co-owners of Hector Wine Company, asking him when, in fact, they harvest their Chardonnay grapes for this wine. And he said it was about now that they would do that, which the regular harvest ended a few weeks ago. And basically what it is the grapes are left on the vine to kind of shrivel up a bit. They don't want them to rot, but they do want them to have a lower pH, lose some of that moisture. So by the time they pick them, they look kind of raisin-like. And what that does is it increases the sugars, and the result is a very delicious dessert style wine. Doesn't actually taste anything like Chardonnay. To me, it's very honey flavored. It seems has a thicker mouth feel to it, which when you're not feeling well, honey is really what you want. And the added bonus is that the alcohol level is just through the roof, so I'm not going to drink too much of this during this podcast, though I have actually, I drank a whole bottle of this once all by myself, and it wasn't so bad. Of course, it was spread out over many, many hours, but yeah, I was impressed with myself. I did pretty good. So that's what I'm drinking in one of my favorite cups that I've drank in before, my Shino cup by my friend Brenda. Alrighty. Let's see. Knitting wise, you know what? First, let me give you a bunny update. A lot of people have asked how the bunnies are doing in the new house. And they are just starting to do really well. It was a pretty stressful week. They were just really out of it and seemed really quite depressed, to be honest with you. They were very listless, not a lot of interest in much of anything. So I kind of opened up their gate. Then I think it was the day after I did a podcast last week, because I could tell that being confined was just really crushing their spirits, and it was just so sad and depressing to watch. So I opened everything right up, and immediately my little one, Finch, she came right out to explore and immediately was feeling better. I could see the change in her whole attitude. But my big girl, Wren, who's a big scaredy cat, and she just kind of stayed put for the better part of the week. And it's only been in the last few days that she has all of a sudden come out of her shell and is doing great. She's running all over. She's making herself at home. They are both hanging out with us when we watch television, which has always been one of their favorite things to do. So to me, that says they are feeling comfortable, and I'm really, really relieved about that. The litter box training is interesting. I'm not going to say that it's great. Wren, the big girl, is doing very well. Finch is, you know, she's her own bunny. She's also kind of an old bunny at this point. I think she's about 8 years old. She might even be 9. I'd have to go back and look. But she's definitely, you know, she doesn't want to do things quite the way I'd like her to. But you know what? It's not a big deal, because the places that she has been going are very easy to clean up. One of the bonuses of bunny pee, if there is such a thing as a bonus of bunny pee, is that it's not like cat pee or dog pee. It's not high in ammonia. It doesn't smell. It's very easy to clean up and doesn't leave a trace. So there is that. But yeah, it's not. I would love it if she would decide to use a litter box, but I don't know. She goes in the vicinity of, so that's okay. It's not like she's just, you know, going everywhere. She isn't, but anyway, I'm telling you way too much about my rabbit's toilet habits. You know, this is my life. Welcome to my world. In other news, I'm on a little bit of a Henry Rollins high. I saw Henry Rollins last night in Ithaca. My husband and I went. If you don't know who Henry Rollins is, just look him up. I'm not going to go into too much detail about him, but he is someone that I have just greatly admired for, God, the better part of 25 years, I would say. His writing has been an enormous inspiration to me. I would say that many of his books written in the 90s were kind of just really helped me get through the 90s. Especially in my 20s, you know, it was an interesting time for me, and I found his writing and his whole outlook on life to be something that really clicked with me. So I've seen him many, many times doing his spoken word tours, but it had been quite a while, and last night we got to see him, and it was great. It was just like seeing an old friend, and yeah, I'm just still kind of glowing from the whole thing. And my husband got to see him for the first time and just really enjoyed him, and I know there were some friends of ours that were also there that just loved it. So if you ever get a chance, if you ever hear of a man named Henry Rollins coming to town doing a spoken word tour, you know, just go to it. Just go to it. That's all I can say is he tells it like it is. He's a realist, but he also has a very positive, uplifting kind of a message. I know that sounds, it's not religious at all. I know it kind of sounded that way, but it's not. So yeah, anyway, it was a great night, and I'm still just so happy I went. So that's my Henry Rollins story, and I love him. Okay, knitting. Now we can get to knitting. How long have I been talking? Only 9 minutes, something like that. Guess I'll take a drink. Might have some sun issues here. I can tell I'm kind of flaring right now. I'm getting like a big old glow-in-the-dark look about me, which is kind of my normal look, actually. But the sun, I think, is going to come blasting through these windows soon, so I might have to adjust some light. Yeah, I'm pretty glowing right now. Oh well. On to knitting. Didn't get a lot done this week. It's, you know, I'm still getting settled, trying to get things situated here. What I did work on was the sock that I said I wasn't going to work on, but it just seemed to be the easiest thing to grab when I had a few minutes to sit down and knit anything. So this is my progress on my little sock coming out of my loom. Look at these colors. How happy and wonderful are they? I really love this yarn. This is Opal. This is an Opal yarn from the spicy, what's it called? Let me see. Sweet and Spicy 3. And it's in the colorway, I think it's like gummy fruit or something like that. It's so fun, this yarn. I mean, you don't have to think about it, and it's just, it makes it exciting to see what's happening next. But yeah, look at those. Look at those colors. How fun is that? I love it. I just love it. Somebody on Facebook asked me, you know, oh, I just love the colors you come up with. And I'm like, yeah, thank you. I invented this yarn. No, I told her it was entirely the yarn doing that, not anything to do with me. But I will say that this is definitely not a soft yarn. My sock is feeling, I wouldn't say terribly scratchy, but if you're sensitive to wool, I don't know that this is the yarn for you. However, I don't know how it washes. It might really soften up. If you've used Opal before, let me know. I suspect it gets softer when it's washed. But it is pretty crunchy. That doesn't bother me at all. In fact, it kind of makes me feel like it's going to last better, that it might wear a little better. Could be totally in my head, but I'm just going to go with it. But yeah, I love this. Love it, love it, love it. And I don't know if I'm going to knit on anything else anytime soon, so this might be it. I don't know. I'm surrounded by all my half-finished things, and I really do want to finish them. But it seems like I think I'm going to have this time, and then it's spent doing something else, and I don't know. I feel, I mean, I'm getting things done in all areas of my life, but other things aren't getting done, so it can be a little frustrating, as I'm sure you can all relate to. Let's see, what I did do this week is a lot of sewing. I sewed my little heart out. And so last week I told you about a pattern that I was expecting in the mail. It's called the, let's see, Painted Portrait Dress or Blouse by Anna Maria Horner. So here's the pattern. Now, gosh, I want you to be able to see that without a glare. Anyway. This is a dress version on the front with pockets. I am making, yeah, that's really not helpful. Not at all. So I'm just you're gonna have to listen to me talk about it. The reason that I am obsessing over this pattern is because of this front panel right here. That, I'm touching her boobs. That panel right there. I saw a picture of this shirt. Somebody made the blouse version, long sleeved, on Instagram, and it was what really inspired me to make this, because they had chosen this beautiful kind of a watercolory fabric for that panel part, and the rest of it was one solid color. And that was when I thought, oh gosh, what a great way to, if you have some really awesome fabric, but maybe it's too overpowering to make an entire garment out of it. Or maybe you have a beautiful piece of hand-dyed fabric or batiqued fabric, and you just want to showcase that one piece. This is the pattern to do it. So this is the fabric that I had in mind. And I bought this a little while ago. So this is a pattern by Tula, who is a fabric designer who I love her stuff. It's crazy and colorful, but really artistic and just awesome. So this is her fabric chipper. See the little chipmunk? Where is it? He's over here, right there. How cute is he? Now this fabric comes in probably 3 or 4 different colorways. I'm just gonna wear it. I'm just gonna wear this. Just really neat colors. So this was the one that I was into, this green background with these purples. So my idea was to have just one chipper right up front and then use a solid color for the rest of the shirt. And so that is what I have been working on. So here's what I have so far. I have most of the shirt put together, and I have to say it doesn't look good just like this, but it looks really good on. So next week I will be wearing it. But so here's my chipper shirt right now. So there, as you can see, I'm just gonna have to hide. There's one little chipper down in the front, and then I've chosen this really pretty, this is a Kona cotton, very high quality, 100% cotton, and berry color, which I love, 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 love. Anyway, what can I say about this pattern? Constructing this has been very simple. I've made some really stupid mistakes just from not paying attention. When you are working with a fabric like this color that does not have a right or wrong side, don't forget to mark which side you're going to use as your right side, because you might end up sewing things backwards a couple times before you realize that you've done that, and then you've taken it all apart. And I kind of did that twice. So yeah, but it's a really lovely pattern, and I have to say the fit is excellent. I made the, let's see. I made the large size. So it's extra small to extra large. Now here's my one criticism of this pattern. So I'm a large, and that would be due to my chest area. I'm chesty. The extra large is only 2 inches more than me. Now, I have no problem calling myself large. That's not an issue. I'll even be extra large. I don't care. But the point is that I think I'm a pretty normal sized person. And if they're the largest you can make this shirt is only a few inches bigger than me, I think that excludes like an enormous amount of the population of women in this world who would love to make this shirt. Now I'm not 100% positive. She may or offer this pattern in another set of sizes that are bigger. I did not see that. I could be wrong. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But if I'm not wrong, Anna Maria Horner, I think you should make this and all your patterns in some bigger sizes, because let's face it, I think most women might be a little bit bigger than, well, not most, but a lot of women are larger sized. And I think it's a shame that they can't make a pattern like this. And the thing is that this is a really flattering shirt when this is on. The way where the yoke falls, it falls at a point in your chest that kind of minimizes. It doesn't, although, you know what? I bet if you're smaller chested, it might maximize. I feel like it's going to do the right thing for you. Because when I tried it on, and I just really, really liked the fit. I like the way it looks. These pleats, there's lovely little pleats underneath the chipper there that are very flattering. There's this lovely little pleated detail, little gathered detail on the back. And it's going to have a button. It's just going to button right there. I have to put the facings on, and I have to complete the hem. But yeah, I really love this pattern, and I think I'm going to be making quite a lot of versions of it. You can make, I can make the dress version, so it's longer. There's a dress version with a pocket option. There's sleeveless versions. There's also a version where the whole front yoke is pieced like a quilt, so that could be all different fabrics. Each part of the pattern could be a different fabric if you wanted to. It's really endless what you can do with this pattern. I love that. I feel like I'm just really gonna get my money's worth out of this. I'm just gonna make the shit out of this pattern, and people are gonna get sick of seeing me in it. Although I think I can make each one look really, really different just in the placement of the fabrics and what I choose. I've already kind of picked out my next fabrics for it, I think. Excuse me. I bought this beautiful cotton. You can see that pretty little delicate, it's like an indigo print. I love this. And I think I'm going to do that for the overall body of the dress. Now the decision is what to do for the yoke. I had this piece of batik, which I actually already cut out into the shape to see how I felt about it. So this is the batik right here. We'll just model this. So this would be the top piece, and then this would be the rest of the shirt. But I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know. I do like it. I like the contrast. I love the color in the batik. I don't know. I guess if it's not thrilling me like it should, why even contemplate it, right? Like, life's too short. Find other fabric. I have a lot of fabric. I can find something. How's my color looking? I guess I'm looking okay. Okay, so that's a story of the painted portrait blouse. Yeah, I love this. So I'm going to finish up this shirt probably this weekend, and I will probably be wearing it on my next podcast. And I think I'm going to love it. And I think I'm going to make about 20 million more of them, because that's how I do things. This is like my dress number 1 of winter, which, by the way, I'm wearing a dress number 1. Ta-da! Just wearing it as a tunic with a shirt, obviously. Okay. Sewing, more sewing. I made a whole pile of project bags this week. Let's see, the one bag that everyone has seemed to like so much, I am really running low on those fabrics. So I just have little pieces left. So I made some notions, pouches in that combination. So here's 2 that are that same thing, just in a smaller version. Pink lining, green zippers. I have 2 like that, and then I did 2 with blue zippers. And they all have little fancy colored zipper ends. I think the blue ones, what do they have inside? Orange, bright orange. Yeah, and I might not even have, this might be it for this size too. I'm gonna have to go down to my coin purse size for the rest of the fabric. I'm determined to use every last freaking bit of that fabric up, because that's what I like to do. So, yeah. So there's these. I think they came out really pretty. They have the same red thread quilting that the bigger versions have all along. Yeah, they're really cute. Let's see, the bigger size bags. I have two bags that have this really fun bird fabric down here. I made a dress out of that earlier in the year for I think it was in May, when it was Me Made May, whatever that is. I think that's what it's called. And that was the first time I had sewn a garment in quite a few years. And I like the dress. I don't think it's a pattern I would have normally chosen for myself. I did it as kind of a sew-along. But it was great to get sewing again. I do like the dress, but I think I need to redo a few parts of it. I don't care for the facing. I think I'm going to take it out and do like a bias binding on it. I don't like the zipper I think I'm going to take that out and redo that. I don't like how that came out. A couple things, you know, I was kind of rusty. I hadn't sewn in a while, but I have worn it and it fits well. And it's just, the fabric is awesome. So I do have tiny bits of that left. So that's why it's on this bag. And this bag's a little different size because the pieces I had were different. So these are just big, they're deeper, they're higher and deeper than my other ones. You can see the bottoms are gusseted and have different fabrics there. This one has a blue lining, and they're all quilted. This one, let's see, yellow inside, fun orange bottom. So those are really bright and happy. I do have more. Like I said, I have really strange shapes of that bird fabric left, so I'm just gonna kind of, I don't know, put them in here and there and see what works out. I don't know, but it is fun. It's a fun fabric. And then lastly, I have these two. These are my regular sized project bags, gusseted. There's this one. This has some new fabrics in it, which are beautiful. I really love this, where is it? This one, this blue scrolly design. Gusseted on the bottom. And then I've got brown and aqua, which I've kind of done. I've done something similar to this before in these colors, different fabrics, light aqua interior, gusseted. I'm just flinging them everywhere. Yeah, so these are all in the shop right now. I got them in late yesterday, I think, and they are all there, just waiting for you patiently. Yeah, so that might be all I have to talk about. It's a short one this week, partly because I'm not feeling that good, and you can probably, I don't know if you can tell, my throat is a little sore again, and that's got me kind of pissed off about that, because the sore throat part of things usually just lasts like a couple days, and then that goes away, and then you're just stuck with a cold. But last night at Henry Rollins, I was surrounded by people, which isn't really my favorite thing in the world, and people were coughing and sneezing, and I said to Scott, I bet I'm going to get sick all over again, and today my throat is sore. So whatever. So there are winters when I will have a sinus infection pretty much the whole winter. It hasn't happened in a couple of years, but it does happen. Seems to happen every few years where I will get sick in November and stay sick till May. I really hope that is not the case this year. I'm cranking down the vitamin C and every other herbal thing I can find. That sounds questionable. Anyway, podcasts. I will mention 2 podcasts this week that I've been watching for a while. I've been trying to watch some new podcasts lately, but I don't know. I'm in a kind of an impatient phase, I think, where if I'm watching somebody and I'm not immediately kind of drawn in, I just don't have the patience to watch too much of that. And I'm sure people do that to me. They probably hear me talk for 2 seconds. They're like, what the hell is this chick? And change it. And I don't blame them at all because I kind of do the same thing. So, when you find somebody you click with and you just kind of stick with them. So lately, I don't know. I just haven't been finding, not to say I'm watching a ton because I'm really not, but nothing's really been kind of clicking with me lately. So I'll mention 2 that I've watched for a while. And the first one is So Sweet Violet with Jules. She is in the UK, very sweet woman. Everything that she does is very gentle and calm and pretty and delicate, and she's very soothing to watch, and I don't know if she realizes that. I think she's kind of been having a tough time lately with some personal things in her life. Not that should I be telling you this? Probably not. Anyway, she has handled them with grace, and we're all very happy that she is back to podcasting. So check Jules out from So Sweet Violet. She makes lovely things. She's a knitter, she is a sewer, and a general crafter, and her podcast is very enjoyable. The second podcast that I've been watching for a while is the Yarn Junkie with Amber, I believe. Gosh, I hope it's Amber. I think it's Amber. For some reason it doesn't sound right now, but I believe it's Amber. Amber's in Texas. She is really fun to watch. I get a kick out of her. I think I could have a good time hanging out with her and knitting. She knits a lot. She seems to have a lot of projects going, so she always has something interesting and new to show. And I almost always really like her yarn choices, her color choices. And she's got two really adorable daughters who sometimes make an appearance on the podcast, and they're awfully cute and very crafty themselves. So that is the Yarn Junkie with Amber. So be sure to check her out. I think that's it. I'm looking at the cutest rabbit ever right now. She's just ridiculous. She's sitting under a kitchen chair looking so cute. And I am one of those people, but I will say if you're watching a podcast and a lot of people have pets that interrupt their podcast, and for the most part, I don't really mind that. However, sometimes it's like, okay, we know this is going to happen every time. So, and you act annoyed that it's happening. So why do you keep letting it happen? That's my question to you animal podcasters. That sounded really bitchy, didn't it? I don't mean that to be bitchy, but I think I'm the same way when I hear kids screaming in the background. Kids and pets, is there a difference? I don't know. Oh, I'm sure I just offended a whole ton of you out there. Oh, and speaking of offending people, you can see I'm just talking to myself now, and the wine's hit me. We have an election in this great country of the US of A next week, just a few days away. And first of all, thank God it's almost over. This has been probably one of the worst elections ever that I can remember, and I'm pretty darn old. Here comes the sun. And yeah. I could tell you, if you've been watching my podcast at all, I'm sure you can probably figure out maybe who I'm voting for. I am voting. I'm not voting third party. I am voting for someone that I was not originally going to vote for. However, I've chosen to vote for the person with actual political experience. I look at it this way. If I was in an airplane and the pilot was an asshole and a known criminal, general, nobody really likes the dude, but he knows how to fly the freaking plane, I'm going to let him fly that plane over the arrogant blowhard who just thinks he could do a fantastic job because he's right about it. Yeah, so there you go. I'm voting for experience. Is it a good idea? Who the hell knows? But I do think it's a better idea than the other option. And if I just offended a whole bunch of people out there, I'm going to say we're even because I've been pretty offended at the fact that anybody could support this one particular candidate, Trump. Yeah, so anyway, I know people don't like to get political on their podcast, but I don't actually have any problem with it at all. Not at all. Especially after seeing Henry Rollins last night, I I could go all day on this topic, but I won't. In fact, I should probably call it a day and put this whole thing out of its misery. Let's see, 35 minutes. This might be my shortest. I may or may not leave that last section in there. I think I will leave it in. What am I afraid of? You know, just because you voted for Trump doesn't mean I don't like you. Or, you know, you might be a nice dresser. You might have really good taste in yarn. I'm sure there are qualities that I might find admirable, maybe. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll talk about this next week when it's all over. Okay. I really got to end this. I think that's it. Yeah, I covered everything. And, you know, maybe next week 2 of you will come back to hear what I have to say. Okay, so happy election, America. Good luck to everybody. Just go out and vote, you know, do your part. And, you know, we'll see what happens. Until next time, bye-bye.